right now. Stop scrolling among millions of videos. You landed here, not by chance, but because this message is meant for you. Welcome to the most powerful video you'll ever watch. Not because it has fancy words or magic tricks, but because this video is about you and the battle inside your own mind. Think about it. How many times have you smiled outside while your heart was breaking inside? How many nights have you silently fought thoughts you can't control? Let me ask you, have you ever felt like your brain is working against you? Like you're trying to be positive, but your mind keeps dragging you back into pain, fear, or regret? Have you ever smiled in front of everyone while screaming inside your head, pretending everything is okay while your mind feels like a storm that never stops raging? Have you ever laid in bed at night thinking the same painful thoughts again and again? And you whisper to yourself, why can't I just stop thinking like this? Why do I always feel so low even when everything seems fine? What's wrong with me? This question is something almost everyone asks, but never dares to say aloud. Let me tell you the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're not crazy. Your real enemy is invisible. But the way you were taught to think, that's broken. That's the enemy. That's what we will fix together, step by step. Starting from this moment right now, this video is going to show you how to stop negative thoughts and feelings forever. Not with empty quotes, but with real tools that work. And we won't do it by reading motivational quotes. We'll do it by understanding the mind step by step, breaking old beliefs and exposing hidden lies inside your head. We'll replace the lies in your head with powerful truths, and we'll give you the tools to take control for the first time in your life. You won't just understand how to stop negativity, you'll also understand how your mind works, how to reprogram your emotions, and how to build a new version of yourself starting today. And yes, if you're learning English, this video will help you too, because everything is explained in simple, powerful English using real examples and emotional storytelling. You'll not only grow stronger, you'll grow smarter in English. 2. Language becomes clearer when the message touches your heart and not just your brain. So, take a deep breath because what you're about to hear might just be the thing your soul has been waiting for all your life. Stage 1. Understand where negative thoughts come from. Most people try to fight their negative thoughts, but they fight in the wrong direction and lose every time. They say things like, I just need to stop thinking. I should be stronger. I should be happy. But they're fighting the wrong battle every single day. You see, negative thoughts are not random. They don't come from the outside world. They come from inside you, from a place called the subconscious mind. And here's the shocking truth. 95% of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are controlled by your subconscious mind. You're awake, but not fully free. That means you are only truly conscious for 5% of your day. The rest is programming. Automatic. Like a machine running without your permission. Let me explain. What is the subconscious mind? Your subconscious is like a recording machine, collecting stories without asking whether they should stay or not. From the moment you were a child, it recorded everything. The way your parents talked to you, the way your teacher reacted when you made a mistake, the way people treated you when you failed, the fear in your mother's eyes when there was no money, the silent pain of being ignored when you needed love, the pain of being laughed at, rejected, or overlooked. All of it was recorded silently without permission. And now, when you grow up, those recordings become your thoughts. So when you say, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, I'll never be successful, nobody really loves me, that's not really you speaking at all. That's your subconscious replaying old memories. Memories that were never healed, but still echo like background noise in your mind even after years have passed. Example, let me tell you about Daniel. He's 26, smart, kind, funny, but every time he starts something new, a job, a relationship, a project, he quits. Why? Because every time something goes wrong, a voice in his head says, "You're just a failure. Why even try? You'll embarrass yourself again. You're not made for this." And Daniel believes that voice. But here's what Daniel doesn't remember: the moment his subconscious quietly recorded a memory that shaped his life forever. When he was 9 years old, he got up in front of his class to present a school project. He was nervous. His voice was shaking, hands trembling, and when he accidentally read a word wrong, the whole class laughed. Even the teacher smiled. That moment felt like his world collapsed right in front of everyone. Daniel went home crying that day. He didn't tell anyone, but that moment became a permanent scar in his subconscious mind, hidden but alive, shaping his future. That scar became a voice, and that voice became a belief, and that belief controlled his life without him ever realizing the source of his struggles. That's what negative thoughts are. They're old pain disguised as truth. They replay like ghosts in your mind until you finally recognize where they came from. So what can you do? You don't fight negative thoughts like enemies. You observe them like detectives, following the clues to see the hidden story behind them. Next time you think, "I'm not good enough," stop and ask, where did this thought come from? Who made me believe this? What is this memory connected to? Because once you understand the source, the thought starts to lose its power. The shadow disappears when the light of awareness finally shines on it. Your first mission tonight: take 10 minutes. Sit quietly and write this question at the top of a page. What are the 3 negative thoughts I think the most? And for each one, ask, where did this come from? Who taught me this? You'll be shocked at what you discover because your brain keeps secrets you never noticed. You'll realize that most of your negative thinking didn't come from you. It came from someone else. And it's been living inside you rent-free for years. But not anymore, because the moment you see the lie, you stop living inside it, and truth has the power to set you free forever. You cannot fix your mind unless you understand it. You cannot silence your thoughts unless you trace their roots. And now, you finally know the way forward. Once you know that 95% of your thinking is just programming, you finally understand that you are not your thoughts. You are the writer who can rewrite them. Stage 2, the invisible loops that trap you. You've tried to be positive. You've written affirmations, yet deep inside you still feel stuck. You've heard people say, "I'm journaling, I'm meditating, I'm trying," but still, they feel low, trapped in the same pain no matter what. Same emotions, same anxiety, same sadness repeating, and they ask, "Why do I feel like I keep going in circles, no matter how hard I try?" Because they are. Welcome to the loop, the invisible mental trap that's been running your life quietly behind the scenes without your permission. What is a mental loop? A mental loop is a pattern of thinking that feeds itself endlessly. It's like a song stuck in your head. No matter what you do, it comes back. You try to ignore it, it gets louder. You try to fight it, it fights harder against you. Let's understand the loop step by step. Trigger. Something small happens. You get ignored. You make a mistake. You see someone else doing better than you. It triggers a familiar emotion: insecurity, fear, guilt. Thought. Your mind pulls up an old belief: "I'm not good enough. Nobody cares. I always mess things up." Emotion. You feel pain again. Shame floods your chest. Anger burns inside. Fear shakes you silently. Reaction. You do something negative, thinking it will make pain disappear. You isolate. You overthink. You scroll endlessly. Maybe you eat junk food or cry quietly into your pillow. Then comes guilt and shame all over again. You feel worse. You whisper, "Why did I react like that again? Why can't I control myself? Maybe I'm too weak." That feeling becomes the new trigger, and the loop starts again. You wake up already tired. You open social media already comparing yourself. One mistake suddenly ruins your whole day. You feel guilty for being negative. You feel weak for being sad. You feel ashamed for not healing faster. And you sink even deeper inside. The worst part, the more you try to escape the loop, the tighter it pulls you in. Because you're not escaping, you're resisting. And resistance fuels pain. What you resist persists. Let me tell you about Amira, a 24-year-old university student, bright, beautiful soul, but she was trapped in the darkest loop imaginable. Here's what her day looked like. Wake up and look in the mirror. My face looks tired. Why am I so ugly? Nobody will ever like me. Go to university and see others laughing together. Why don't I have friends like that? Maybe I'm just not likable. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Try to focus in class, but one mistake in front of others feels like disaster. Great, now they think I'm stupid. I'll never be respected. Go home. Open Instagram. She's so pretty. She's so confident. Look at her boyfriend. Look at her success. Why is my life nothing like theirs? Lay in bed at night and cry quietly so no one hears. Thinking life is hopeless while pretending to be strong in front of everyone else. And here's the tragic part. None of these things were real threats. They were illusions, mental traps, invisible chains created inside Amira's own mind. But Amira's loop was so tight, she didn't even realize it was a loop. She thought it was reality. She thought she was the problem. The loop makes you believe the pain is your fault. It makes you feel ashamed of being emotional. It makes you guilty for needing help. So instead of escaping the loop, you build a home inside it. You start saying, "This is just who I am. I'll always be negative." And that is how people stay stuck for years, living inside a mental prison they don't even see, decorating the walls instead of walking out. You don't break a loop by fighting the thought. You break the loop by breaking the pattern. That means interrupting the cycle at its weakest point. So what's the weakest point? The reaction? Let me explain. You can't always control the trigger. You can't always stop the thought from appearing suddenly. You can't immediately change the emotion. But you can always choose your reaction. That choice is your power. And it's the key to breaking free. Let's go back to Amira. She kept reacting to her thoughts with tears, endless scrolling, and quiet suffering. But one day, something changed completely. She learned something simple from a therapist. When the thought comes, don't respond, don't feed it, just say, interesting thought. Then calmly walk away. The next morning when she looked in the mirror and the voice said, "You look terrible," she didn't cry. She didn't argue. She whispered gently. She smiled, fake at first, and said, interesting thought." Then she made a cup of tea, played one happy song, and wore her favorite earrings. She went to class and made eye contact with someone. She said, "Hi." That day, the loop broke. Not fully, not forever, but for that moment she won. And one moment of winning creates another. Victory is built in small moments of courage repeated daily. Change begins not in big explosions, but in quiet defiance. Tonight. Write this down. What is one loop I live inside every day? What's the trigger? What's the thought? What's the emotion? What's the reaction? Then write one thing you'll do differently next time the trigger comes. Something small, kind, and real. It doesn't have to be perfect or dramatic. It can be this simple. Instead of hiding, I'll talk to one person. Instead of scrolling, I'll walk outside. Instead of crying, I'll breathe deeply. Instead of saying, I'm a failure. I'll say, I'm learning. Even a tiny interruption breaks the machine. The loop is strong, but awareness is stronger. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You're not doomed. You're just trapped in a pattern. A loop you didn't even realize existed until this moment. But now you know. And knowing is power. Because when you can see the loop, you can step out of it and reclaim your strength again. Stage 3. Stop feeding the enemy inside. Most people want to stop negative thoughts. Yet every day they keep feeding the things that create them. It's like drinking poison every morning and wondering why you feel sick all day. Healing your mind isn't possible if your lifestyle keeps generating negativity. You cannot heal your mind if you keep feeding it junk. You cannot stop negativity if your daily choices quietly plant seeds of darkness inside you. This is the stage where we clean the soil because no seed of happiness can grow in polluted ground. Think of your mind as fertile land. Imagine your mind is a beautiful open garden. Whatever you plant there grows. Whatever you water becomes stronger. Whatever you allow in becomes your reality. So now ask yourself, what are you planting every morning? What are you watering with your thoughts and attention? What seeds are you allowing to remain? If all you feed your mind is fear-based news, toxic social media, fake perfection, gossip, sad songs, and drama, what do you expect to grow? Joy, peace, motivation? Impossible. You're asking your mind to grow flowers in toxic soil. It cannot happen. The soil must be cleaned first. Let me show you a metaphor that will hit you hard. There's a room with a giant black mirror on the wall. You visit daily. Every morning you stand before it. But here's the catch. This mirror doesn't show your real face. It shows your worst fear, your deepest insecurity. It magnifies pain you hide from others. And you still look into it every morning, every night, letting it define you without ever questioning it. That mirror is your phone. That mirror is the reel that says you're not successful. The post that whispers you're not enough. The comments that break you. And the worst part, you chose to look into it. You keep that mirror in your pocket, beside your pillow, carrying it everywhere as if it were harmless. Now you wonder why your mind feels broken. It's because you've been feeding the enemy inside with your time, your focus, your energy every day. Here are 3 main ways people feed negativity without realizing it. First, information overload, also called digital poison. You scroll for hours, absorbing silent toxins. You may say, I'm just watching for fun. I don't take it seriously. But your subconscious is recording. Every face, every word, every comparison leaves a mark. Her smile is perfect. Mine isn't. He's successful. I'm behind. They look happy. I'm lonely. The mind stores these patterns silently until they become reality. You don't feel it instantly, but after 10 days of this, you feel insecure, empty, restless, not because of your life, but because of what you consumed. Second, toxic repetition. Music, reels, sad dramas. Songs are powerful, but most people don't realize repetition is programming. Lyrics repeat and the brain records them. You broke my heart. Nobody loves me. I want to disappear. You say it's just music, but your brain doesn't understand just. It only understands repetition. Every lyric becomes an instruction, and many people are programming themselves to be depressed on autoplay without ever realizing it's happening daily. Third, mental diet. The conversations you have daily. If every day you complain, gossip, and talk about betrayal, unfairness, or failure, what are you feeding yourself? Negativity becomes your default language, and language creates thought patterns. You shape your inner world by what you repeat out loud daily with others. Let me tell you a different story. There was a glass of clear water sitting on a table, peaceful, balanced, perfectly clean, nothing polluted it. One day, someone dropped one drop of black ink in it. The water changed slightly, but still looked okay. The next day, another drop followed, then another, and another. Slowly, the water became darker, not because it was bad, but because it was fed poison one drop at a time. This is mind. The ink is the content you consume, the words you repeat, the people you listen to, the environment you live inside every day. You didn't become negative overnight. You were being dripped with darkness silently, one piece of toxic input at a time, until it covered your clarity. So how do you stop feeding the enemy inside? Here's what to do. Starting today, clean your feed like your fridge. Remove what poisons you. You wouldn't eat rotten food, so why watch rotten content? Unfollow pages that make you insecure. Mute people posting fake perfection. Delete apps if you must. Your peace is more important than staying updated. Protect it like your health, because a peaceful mind is the foundation for any healing or success. Replace. Don't resist. Don't just stop watching bad content. Replace it with something that builds you. Watch growth stories. Read one inspiring page. Listen to healing audio. Morning and night detox. The first 30 minutes after waking and the last 30 before sleep are when your mind is most programmable. Guard those moments carefully. Don't scroll. Don't compare. Don't begin your day with noise. Instead, breathe deeply. Write gratitude. Speak one strong sentence to yourself. Today, I protect my mind. Your mission today. Write this question. What 3 things am I feeding my mind that are hurting me? Be honest. Then replace each with something life-giving. Because your mind isn't broken, it's simply been badly fed. You're not the darkness. You're the light buried under years of toxic programming, waiting to rise again. Your thoughts are seeds. What you plant today will grow tomorrow. Feed peace, feed hope, feed strength. Because every choice is either planting weeds or planting flowers. Stage 4. Clean your mental room daily. Let me ask you something simple. You brush your teeth each morning, right? You shower, change clothes, clean dishes. Because if you don't, your body smells, your home gets dirty, and you feel uncomfortable. But when was the last time you cleaned your mind? Not your Instagram, not your bookshelf, not your to-do list. I mean, the inside of your head, the real home where you live 24 hours a day. Because here's the truth. You don't live in your house. You live inside your mind. If that space isn't clean, life feels suffocating even outside. If you don't clean your mental space daily, you'll live in a home full of noise, anxiety, and pain, even when everything outside looks okay. So today we clean, not once, not when you collapse, but every single day, like brushing your soul, clearing space for peace and freedom again. Let's break a myth. Negative thoughts don't only come from trauma, they also come from accumulation. Life dust collects inside your mind without asking permission, just like dust settles on your furniture. Emotional dust collects from stressful conversations, avoided decisions, fears of the future, and judgments you carry quietly. Maybe someone's comment hurt you, but you ignored it. Maybe you're still doubting yourself from something this morning. That's dust. It piles up until you can't breathe. Here's what happens when people don't clean mental space. Stress builds up in layers. You ignore it. Then little things irritate you. You snap at tiny problems. You become emotionally sensitive. One sentence can break you. You feel tired without reason because your mind is overloaded. Your joy has no space to live. You stop enjoying things you once loved, slowly, without realizing. You stop being yourself. You laugh less, dream less, trust less. Not weak, just overcrowded. Imagine a small room with 100 open boxes. Each box holds something heavy: unfinished goals, painful memories, guilt, self-doubt, stress, avoided conversations. Now, imagine trying to relax inside that room. Possible. There's no space to breathe. That's your mind when you never pause to clear the clutter inside. So how do we clean? Here are 6 powerful daily practices requiring no app, no therapist, just intention and awareness. Simple, but life-changing if repeated. 1. The thought shelf method. When your mind feels overloaded, don't solve everything instantly. Mentally put the thought aside. Give it a shelf to rest on. Say gently, "This doesn't need solving now. I'll place it here for later." You're not ignoring it. You're giving it a safe place to wait. This stops the mind from replaying the same thought over and over like a broken record. You're organizing, not erasing. That creates calm inside. 2. Temperature check once a day. Pause and ask, "What am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? Why?" Even if the answer is, "I don't know." You've created awareness. Awareness cleanses confusion, like checking weather before leaving home. This prepares your emotional forecast. You'll be shocked at how much you've been carrying silently, and awareness is the first step to unloading pain before it turns into anxiety or sadness. 3. The one-word dump. You don't always need long journals. Before sleep, write one word describing your emotion today: heavy, hopeful, lonely, frustrated, peaceful. Naming the feeling gives clarity. Once you can name it, you can clean it. Small words hold big power when repeated daily in silence. 4. 3-minute walkthrough. Each evening, close your eyes and replay your day. Waking up, breakfast, conversations, feelings. Where did your mood shift unexpectedly? This is not overthinking. It's noticing. When you notice, you release. When you name it, you drain it. Just 3 minutes clears hidden emotional weight. 5. Speak to yourself like a child. Before bed, whisper one kind thing: "You did your best. It's okay to be tired. You made it." Do this daily, because the deepest dirt in your mind isn't fear, it's self-hatred. And kindness heals wounds silence never could. Your inner child is listening. 6. Micro-forgiveness. Each day, release one small thing: a friend who didn't reply, a mistake you made, a comment that stung. Say softly, "I release this." No apology needed, no closure required, just peace. Forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. It lightens your heart so you can move forward freer. Pick any 3 of these tonight before bed. Make them rituals, like brushing teeth. Clean your mental room daily so your inner world breathes again. When your mind is clean, you sleep deeper, focus sharper, laugh louder, and live lighter. Chaos doesn't control you. You control your space, your clarity, your peace. You're not too sensitive. You're not broken. You're overcrowded. And when something is too full, even a feather can break it. Create space before it collapses. Do it not when you cry, not when you collapse, not when life forces you. Do it because peace is not a gift, it's a habit. Stage 5. Replace, don't fight. You will never win a war by screaming at your enemy. You will never win peace by screaming at thoughts. Yet that's what most people do. They say, "I want to stop thinking negatively. I'm tired of this voice inside my head. How do I escape?" So they fight. They argue with their thoughts. They say, "Stop thinking this. Why am I like this? I shouldn't feel this way anymore." But the more they fight, the stronger the thought becomes. Why? Because you can't fight a thought with force. You can only win by replacing it. Here's why fighting never works. The moment you say, "I don't want to think about this," your brain focuses more on that very thought. If I say, Don't think about a pink elephant. The image pops instantly if you say, don't feel anxious. Your brain hunts for reasons to panic. So when you fight a thought with more thought, you create a storm. Every argument with negativity gives it energy, attention, and more power to grow. The solution is not to fight, but to replace, redirect, rewire, like turning a radio dial, flipping a page, or choosing a different road to walk. Imagine a radio blasting a depressing song. You're a failure. You'll never be loved. You're too late. The volume is high, hurting your ears. Do you scream at the radio? No. You change the station, lower the volume, or play your own music louder. That's replacement in action. Thoughts are like habits, and habits break easiest not by destruction, but by substitution. You can't erase thoughts. You can only overwrite them with better ones. Your brain is like a chalkboard. If something painful is written there, the only way to clear it is by writing something new on top. Negative thought, I always mess things up. Replacement thought, I learn faster because I've failed before. The pain doesn't vanish. It transforms into growth and strength. Negative thought, nobody cares about me. Replacement thought, even if I forget, someone still loves me. Same memory, different focus, new perspective begins to form. Negative thought, I'll never succeed. Replacement thought, I haven't reached it yet, but I will. Notice, it's not lying, it's simply shifting spotlight to possibility. This is how rewiring works. The old voice says, you're weak. The new voice replies, I feel deeply, and that is strength. Fear meets courage quietly. Think of a wall painted beautifully white, but in the center, there's one small black dot. Most people ignore the wall and obsess over it. They stare at the dot. They worry. Why is it there? Will it grow? Did I cause it? Soon, the dot becomes their entire reality, but the dot never changed. The focus did. This is how negative thoughts work. Small marks on a wall of beauty, magnified until they steal your world. You don't need to erase the dot. You need to step back and see the whole wall again. That's what replacement gives you. These aren't shallow affirmations. They are brain rewiring techniques. You're not denying the thought. You're overwriting it with possibility, progress, and truth. That's transformation. Here are practical replacement tools. First, the reversal technique. Flip fear into its opposite truth. I'll fail this interview. Reversal. I might surprise myself today. You're not lying. You're giving your brain a new option. And hope reduces fear. The mind naturally chooses lighter roads once you open that direction. Second, the so what method. Negative thoughts are often dramatic. What if I embarrass myself? Ask. So what? Would I still be alive? Could I still grow? The drama reduces. Logic returns. The thought loses power because its weight was imagination, not reality. Suddenly, the fear feels smaller than before. Third, the upgrade method, version 2.0. Thinking. Treat each thought like software. Original. I can't do this. Update. I'm figuring it out. Original. I'm not ready. Update. I'm becoming more ready every day. These upgrades keep the brain safe but moving forward. They replace shame with steady growth. Practical step. Write down your 3 most common negative thoughts this week. For each, write one strong replacement. Post them where you'll see daily reminders. Repeat them each morning. Repeat them when the old voice returns, because the brain believes what it hears often. Train it like a muscle every day. Remember, you weren't born to carry storms forever, but you cannot stop storms by screaming. You change the weather by forecasting differently. Choosing better skies inside. That means replacing fear with possibility, shame with progress, doubt with growth. Your mind isn't broken. It's just replaying the same tape too long. And now, it's time to change the music, not by silencing it with force, but by giving your soul a new rhythm, a stronger melody. Stage 6. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Let me ask you a painful question. If someone else spoke to you like your inner voice does, would you stay? Think carefully. What words do you whisper to yourself when you fail, when you forget, when you feel tired, rejected, or broken? Are those words healing or harmful? You don't say, "It's okay, I'm human, I'll try again." Instead, you say, "I'm stupid. I always mess things up. Nobody cares about me." And the tragedy is clear. If another person said this even once, you'd walk away forever. Yet you say it to yourself daily without escape. So what happens? You live in a house where your own mind abuses you. A cruel voice becomes louder than kindness. And you cannot walk away. Most people have an inner critic, but for some, it becomes an inner bully. That bully doesn't guide, it attacks, compares, and tells you you're worthless. It whispers, "You're always behind. You're not as good as them. You're ugly. You're lazy. You'll always be alone." And slowly, you start believing it. Now imagine a 7-year-old child comes to you. They say, "I made a mistake today. I feel like I'm not good enough anymore." Would you scream at them? Would you call them useless? Of course not. You'd hug them. You'd say softly, "It's okay. You're still worthy." So why don't you speak to yourself that way? Somewhere along life, you learned cruelty instead of compassion. But today, that pattern must break forever. Think of your mind as a garden. Your self-talk is the gardener. Every word plants a flower or poisons the soil. The gardener decides what survives. If the gardener says, "This plant is useless, it will never grow," even the strongest flower will wither. Words kill roots before they bloom. But if the gardener says, "You're growing slowly, but you're growing. It's okay if today was tough. You don't have to bloom daily," hope rises. Negative self-talk is not harmless. It damages confidence, destroys motivation, feeds shame, fuels anxiety, and convinces you that you are the problem, not the thought. When you believe you're broken, you stop reaching for healing. You stop asking for help. You stop believing in better, not because better doesn't exist, but because your inner voice convinced you you don't deserve it. And that's why learning to speak with love inside is the most urgent transformation. What if every time you failed, you said, "I'm learning"? What if when you felt tired, you said, "I need rest, not guilt"? What if when you felt jealous, you said, "I'm human. I feel things. That's okay"? This isn't lying. It's offering yourself the compassion you give others. So how do you start? Here are 5 practices to talk to yourself with love. 1. Give your inner critic a name. Yes, name it. Because when you say, "I'm a failure," the critic sounds like truth. But if you say, "That's Doubtful Dan again," you separate yourself from the voice. It sounds silly, but it gives perspective. You stop becoming the critic. You become the listener. And the listener always has the choice to respond or ignore. 2. The best friend technique. When you feel low, ask, "If my best friend felt this way, what would I say?" Then say exactly that to yourself. You'll be shocked how gentle your words become when you direct them inward with the same love you've given others for years. 3. The mirror moment. Each morning, stand in front of a mirror for 2 minutes, not to judge appearance, but to look into your own eyes. Say 3 things. "I'm trying, I'm still here, I forgive you." Do it daily. Your reflection has been waiting years to hear kindness from you. 4. Rewrite the sentence. Take a cruel phrase you say often and transform it. "I'm a burden" becomes "My feelings matter." "I'm weak" becomes I've carried much. Write these rewrites. Post them where you'll see them. Read them daily. You are reprogramming the subconscious, replacing abuse with compassion that heals your inner child. 5. Daily forgiveness. Not once a year, not after a huge mistake. Daily, each night. Say, whatever I did wrong today, I forgive myself. Tomorrow I'll try again. Guilt doesn't create growth. Grace does. Sit quietly, hand on heart, and whisper, I'm sorry I was cruel. You didn't deserve it. I'll be kinder now. If tears come, let them. You're not weak. You're reconnecting with yourself. You don't need perfection. You need kindness. Because the world already has enough critics. Don't join them. Be the one voice inside that says, you are worthy, even now, especially now. Love is the soil for growth and strength. Stage 7. Cut off the hidden triggers. Not every trigger is loud or obvious. Some feel soft, even comfortable, but they quietly pull you backward. They drag you into an older version of yourself, the one who doubted, feared, and suffered. Triggers often feel harmless until you realize their quiet damage. Imagine living in a room with a soft ticking clock. Tick, tick, tick. You stop noticing it, but the sound never leaves your space. One day you remove the clock. Suddenly the silence feels new, and you realize you've lived with noise for years without ever questioning it. That's how triggers work. Background noise, a person, a group chat, a ringtone, a smell, a routine, even a hairstyle, reminding you of old pain. You wonder why you feel anxious, yet you still sleep beside memories of your worst days. You're leaving the door open for old trauma daily. Here's the mistake people make. They think, I shouldn't cut people off. I should be stronger. I can handle being around triggers. Avoiding feels weak. But healing isn't proving strength. Healing is protecting your energy. A wound doesn't heal by running through dirt. It heals by shielding itself until ready. What must you cut off? Sometimes, a nice but draining friend. They don't insult you, but every talk leaves you smaller, dismissed, or quietly compared. They never say it outright, but you always leave feeling less. Let them go. Your peace matters more than keeping every friendship alive. Next, unspoken expectations. That inner voice saying, I should be richer by now. I should be married already. I should always be happy. That isn't motivation. It's a mental whip disguised as discipline. Cut it off. Not your dream, but the fake timeline you never chose yourself. Another trigger, your emotional home. Some people live in anger because it's familiar. Others live in guilt, sadness, or fear because it feels safe. Ask yourself, what emotion do I default to when I'm overwhelmed? Who taught me this was normal? Often, the answer isn't you, it's inherited. You've rented someone else's emotional home for years. It's time to move out. Build a new emotional home with peace as your default setting. Practical step. Write a list called Things That Silently Pull Me Back into Darkness. 3 columns: what it is, why it affects me, how to protect myself. This isn't rejection, it's self-respect. You cannot step into your future if you keep entertaining people and patterns that constantly pull you into the past. You're not weak for needing space. You're wise for choosing peace. You don't owe the past another visit. You owe your future a better foundation. If a plant isn't growing, you don't blame the seed. You change the environment. Protect your growth. Protect what is blooming inside you now. And once you've removed darkness, it's time for the most powerful stage of all, turning your deepest pain into unstoppable power. Stage 8. Turn pain into power. If you're watching this, you've survived something. Silent tears, lonely nights, storms no one else even saw. You tried to be strong for everyone else while breaking quietly inside. But your survival is proof of strength. Now it must become transformation. People say, let it go, forget it, move on. But healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means finding meaning inside what once broke you. It means saying, yes, that hurt me, but I'm still standing. I will build something powerful from the scars I carry. Pain doesn't have to be the villain of your story. Pain can be the foundation of your transformation, the gold inside your broken pieces. There's a Japanese art called kintsugi. When a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. They repair it with golden lacquer, making cracks shine brighter. The bowl becomes stronger, more beautiful, and more valuable because it was broken. Your pain is the gold. Your scars can become strength if you allow it. Every tear, every lonely night, every rejection can become wisdom, power, and purpose. What once weakened you can now guide and lift others too. So how do you turn pain into power? First, stop asking, why me? Start asking, what now? The past can't be erased, but the future can be rebuilt. Pain becomes power when you stop chasing revenge and start seeking rebirth. Your scars don't define you, they refine you into something stronger. Second, transform emotion into expression. Energy doesn't die, it transforms. Anxiety into art, loneliness into leadership, sadness into storytelling, anger into boundaries. The world doesn't need perfect people, it needs survivors who say, here's my scar, here's my story, and here's how I turned it into light. Third, use pain to help someone else. You don't need a degree or platform, just say, I've been there too, and I see you. Pain multiplies in silence, but dissolves in connection. When you share your scars, others feel less alone, and that connection heals both sides at once. Fourth, build identity around survival, not suffering. Stop saying, I was broken. Start saying, I am rebuilding. Stop saying, they ruined me. Say, I rebuilt myself. Because if pain is fire, you are the gold that survived the flame. You didn't survive just to survive. You survived to transform and inspire. This is not just a video about stopping negative thoughts. This is a reintroduction to your power. Everything you've survived has been shaping you for today, not to destroy you, but to prepare you, to prove that your scars are not signs of weakness, but evidence of resilience, courage, and hidden strength. So here's the final truth. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your negative thoughts. You are the power that rises in the middle of all three. You are the choice to become something greater. Starting right here, right now, this your chapter, your healing, your time, the end of an old version of you that believed. Maybe I'll never heal or feel free. Now you know something different. You've seen the enemy inside, you've studied patterns, you've cleaned pain, you've changed the voice that once bullied you daily. You've built strength, you've protected your energy, you've taken your hardest moments and begun turning them into lessons. Wisdom, an unstoppable personal transformation. That is not small. That is courage. That is life reborn. You are not who you were. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. And if nobody told you this today, let me say it clearly. I am proud of you. Not because you're perfect, but because you stayed. You showed up broken, scared, tired, and unsure. But you listened. You tried. You made it to this moment. That means you're already winning. Your thoughts don't control you. You choose which thoughts stay. You control your healing. You control your pace. You control your story from now on. And if you keep showing up like you did today, your life will never be the same again. Small steps, repeated, create unstoppable transformation. Because small steps with love and honesty build powerful lives. You are already walking that road. You don't need to run. You just need to keep going. If this message touched you, if it made you feel stronger, then do one simple thing. Subscribe. Stay with us. Keep growing with Soulful English. Because this channel isn't just about English lessons. It's about transformation, turning language into connection, turning pain into power, turning every day into growth. Here, we speak slowly, clearly, deeply. Even if you're still learning English, you'll never feel lost. You'll always be understood. This space belongs to you. So subscribe, turn on the bell, share this with someone who needs it. Let's grow together. Let's heal together. Let's rise together from today. And now, a question for you. What part of this message spoke to you the most? Share it in the comments. We want to hear your story. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for proving that even in pain, you chose courage and hope. I believe in you, always. Now go and become the person you were always meant to be. Your story is just beginning. Your light is unstoppable.